Hello and welcome to this video. I'm Michael and I will be showing you the Enriched Topology view, which you can find in Operate, Fabric Interconnects, and then just navigate to your domain of your choice and select Topology. This will bring you to the topology view where you can see your Fabric Interconnects, your upstream switches, your chassis, and you can also check the status of all of your devices. So here we can see the device information and the alarms of the device. Of course, you can also hover over the info icon of a chassis to see inventory and health status, and you can hover over the info icon of a network neighbor to see that information. Here we can see that one network neighbor is connected with 2 links and the other one is only connected with 1 link. That's because one of our ports here is down, so you can also hover over the ports to see the status of those. Let's switch to a different domain. So here we can see we have our Fabric Interconnects, we have our chassis, but we also have these new icons which represent rack servers. So these are rack servers connected to a Fabric Interconnect. Our upstream network neighbor is showing as unknown. That's because some of the CDP or LLDP information is not properly being provided. As long as CDP and LDP are configured correctly, any upstream device from any vendor will show up. Let's jump to another domain. This one has 2 chassis, and if you actually double click on a chassis, you will be taken to the chassis topology view, which shows you the connectivity from the blade to the IFM to the Fabric Interconnect. Back in the Fabric Interconnect topology view, we can also look at more information. So if you hover over an info icon, you can click the View Metrics button. This will bring up a drawer with metrics specifically for that device. So things like temperature and power, depending on which device you're looking at. You can do the same thing for ports by clicking on that View Metrics button. This drawer shows things like network utilization, network errors, pause frames, and so on. Network errors will also be shown next to the port if there are any. Hovering over a line will show the details for that connection. One line might represent a single port, but it can also represent multiple ports. So here you can see that there are, for example, 2 ports involved in this connection. You can get more information about what's shown in the topology by clicking on the info icon to show the legend. Everything we looked at so far was only in the operational status view. We can change to the network utilization view. The width of the line represents the link bandwidth and the color represents the utilization. The hover window also changed and it will now show the network utilization instead of the operational status. Looking at a different domain, we can see that the lines here are yellow because the average transmit is actually quite high while the average receive is quite low. Looking at this other link, we can see that both average receive and average transmit are low. So we can actually spot an imbalance in our traffic between path A and path B. When we then look at the uplink, we can see that the receive is very high while the transmit is low. We can actually adjust these thresholds. So for example, we can turn down the warning threshold to 40% and the critical threshold down to 77%. And now we'll see that the color of our links change depending on our thresholds. With a lot of links, you might only want to see the problematic ones. So you can adjust to that view or even to a view where you only see critical links. I hope that our topology view will be very useful for you when operating your UCS systems.